Welcome to Thrive Minds, where we inspire, encourage, and motivate you on your journey to becoming your best self. Today, we're exploring something that often goes unnoticed, but is incredibly powerful: self-compassion. We hear a lot about compassion for others, but what about the kindness we show ourselves? In this video, we'll dive into why self-compassion is essential, especially during life's toughest moments, and how it can help you grow, heal, and thrive. So, let's take a moment to breathe, reflect, and open our hearts to the idea of embracing ourselves with a bit more kindness. Life can feel like a series of tests, can't it? We push through challenges, striving to meet expectations, our own and those of others. But what happens when we fall short? How do we treat ourselves when we stumble? For many, this is when the inner critic comes out, ready to judge. Today, I want to encourage you to replace that criticism with compassion. Self-compassion means treating ourselves with the same kindness we'd offer a friend. Imagine a close friend is going through a tough time. Would you criticize them, or would you support them, encourage them, and remind them of their worth? Let's give ourselves the same grace. When we fail, self-compassion helps us see the bigger picture. It reminds us that mistakes are part of the journey. Instead of defining ourselves by our missteps, we can learn from them and move forward. In the darkest moments, self-compassion becomes a light. It gives us permission to feel, to rest, and to heal. Rather than pushing down emotions, we acknowledge them, offering ourselves a safe space to grow. Think about it. We all have ups and downs. Even the most successful people face setbacks. What sets them apart is not a lack of failure, but the way they respond to it. Self-compassion builds resilience. It strengthens us from the inside out. Why is self-compassion so important? It helps us cultivate a positive self-image. When we're kind to ourselves, we're less likely to dwell on our flaws. Instead, we see our unique strengths and value. Self-compassion isn't just an inner practice, it shapes our outer world too. As we nurture ourselves, we begin to build healthier relationships. When we're gentle with ourselves, we naturally extend that kindness to others. Let's face it, life can be harsh and the world often feels competitive, but we don't have to mirror that harshness within. Self-compassion creates a refuge in our hearts, a place where we're always welcome no matter what. Now, think about a moment when you were hard on yourself. What if, instead of criticism, you offered comfort? By choosing compassion, you're affirming your worth, even when things don't go as planned. Imagine if every time we made a mistake, we responded with kindness instead of blame. The beauty of self-compassion is that it helps us move past our mistakes without carrying the weight of shame. We often seek validation from others, but self-compassion helps us find it within. It's a reminder that we don't need to be perfect to be worthy of love. We're worthy just as we are. When you're kind to yourself, it's easier to accept imperfections. Self-compassion teaches us to see flaws not as failures, but as signs of growth and courage. Many of us have heard the saying, treat others as you want to be treated. But what about treating ourselves as we treat others? If we can offer forgiveness to a friend, why not to ourselves? Self-compassion nurtures our mental health. When we're gentle with ourselves, we reduce stress and anxiety, allowing room for peace and clarity. Some people fear that self-compassion means we'll lose motivation, but it's actually the opposite. When we treat ourselves with kindness, we're more willing to take risks, knowing that we'll support ourselves no matter the outcome. Think about this. We would never shame a child for learning to walk, yet we often shame ourselves for struggling. Self-compassion allows us to see our growth as a journey, one step at a time. When we practice self-compassion, we become less afraid of failure. It gives us the courage to try again, to take on new challenges, and to embrace change. It's okay to feel vulnerable. Self-compassion reminds us that vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness. By embracing our true selves, we open ourselves up to authentic connections. If we can learn to be patient with ourselves, we can handle life's challenges with greater ease. Self-compassion builds patience, giving us the time we need to heal and grow. Sometimes we think self-criticism will push us to improve, but the truth is, kindness is far more effective. When we believe in ourselves, we're inspired to keep moving forward. Embracing self-compassion means letting go of perfectionism. It allows us to set realistic goals and appreciate our efforts rather than fixating on results. Self-compassion doesn't mean avoiding responsibility. It's about taking ownership without judgment. When we make a mistake, we can learn from it without harsh self-blame. Have you ever felt like you're not enough? Self-compassion reminds us that we're more than enough. We have value simply because we exist, flaws and all. The beautiful thing about self-compassion is that it's always available. Even in the toughest times, we can choose to be kind to ourselves. Let's make a commitment today to treat ourselves with grace, even when it's difficult. When we show up for ourselves, we empower our inner strength. We all have an inner voice. Let's transform that voice into one that uplifts and encourages. Let it be the voice of a friend, a mentor, a guide. Self-compassion is a choice we make daily. It's not about getting it right every time, but about coming back to kindness again and again. When we're gentle with ourselves, we discover a sense of peace. We let go of comparison and embrace our unique path. In moments of struggle, self-compassion becomes a source of comfort. It tells us, you're doing your best, and that's enough. Imagine a life where you support yourself as you would a loved one. Self-compassion brings that life within reach. Life can be unpredictable, but self-compassion gives us the stability to face whatever comes our way with courage. Self-compassion allows us to embrace both our strengths and weaknesses. It teaches us that we don't need to be perfect to be worthy of love. As we practice self-compassion, we begin to see ourselves with fresh eyes. We recognize our resilience, our hope, and our capacity for growth. Self-compassion is a lifelong journey. It's a gift we give ourselves over and over again. When we're kind to ourselves, we inspire others to do the same. We create a ripple effect of compassion in the world. Self-compassion helps us create healthy boundaries. It reminds us that our well-being matters and that we deserve respect. Remember, self-compassion is not a destination but a journey. Each step we take brings us closer to our true selves. When we embrace self-compassion, we find joy in the present moment. We learn to appreciate our progress no matter how small. Self-compassion encourages us to celebrate our achievements and forgive our mistakes. It allows us to move forward with grace. Life is a series of moments. Self-compassion invites us to cherish each one, knowing we are enough. Self-compassion helps us let go of past regrets. It allows us to embrace the future with hope and excitement. Imagine a world where everyone practiced self-compassion. We would have more understanding, empathy, and love. When we treat ourselves with kindness, we are better equipped to handle life's challenges. We become resilient and strong. Self-compassion teaches us that we're worthy of love, regardless of our past. It reminds us that every day is a new opportunity. As we close today, I encourage you to take a moment to breathe, reflect, and give yourself the gift of self-compassion. Let's choose to be kind to ourselves, to forgive our mistakes, and to celebrate our journey. Remember, self-compassion is always within reach. No matter where you are or what you're going through, you deserve kindness. Thank you for joining me today. Let's continue to walk this path of self-compassion together. Let's be gentle with ourselves, knowing that we are enough just as we are. Until next time, take care, stay motivated, and remember, your journey is worth every step. Stay compassionate, stay inspired, and keep thriving.